get the contact solution out of your eyes?
I just hadn't blinked in a while, apparently. Okay, ready?
Uh-huh.
Well, hey, brothers and sisters in Christ. Welcome back to the Growing in Godfidence podcast. We are so glad you came back. This is your host, Anna Wallander, and I'm joined by my husband, Isaac Wallander, as we are continuing our series on healthy relationships. Last episode, we covered, Are You Ready to Date? And now we're following along on, okay, now you've decided that you're ready and you want to date and you have the mind and the heart that you want to find a spouse, Lord willing. And so how do we go about this in a God-honoring way? So we would love to start with a Q&A style and kind of relax this conversation a little bit. Are you up for that, Isaac?
I can be. Yes, I will be up for this.
I'm going to put you on the cuff and ask you some questions.
Here I am.
All natural, we purposely did not tell each other our questions to see what the other person would say and what our thoughts are.
Yeah, this is very much an experiment.
Okay, so let's start with what is your opinion for how a guy should ask out a girl? And I will give you some context,
Okay,
Isaac.
good.
Let's say in the scenario, the guy knows of the girl, he knows of her character, he knows of her priorities through friends or somehow being maybe a part of her church. Okay, so he knows about her, she probably knows him a little bit. They're not friends or anything, but he wants to find out more about her and he wants to get to know her on a date.
Okay.
Go.
Okay, so he knows of her, but he's probably not really interacting with her a lot if he knows of her, but she doesn't really know him.
Correct.
Okay, so present day America, not Middle Ages. Okay. I would say he's got to be upfront and right away just kind of be like, hey, I kind of would like to get to know you, that kind of thing. Or simply just say, hey, my name, introduce himself and say like, this is me. Hi, my name is Isaac. I'd love to get to know you. I know your name is Anna, but like, I see you all the time and I'd love to be friends with you. Right? That's how I would start it out.
I like that. I personally like that. I think that's good.
What if, okay, so like guy, you specifically said guy ask a girl, right? So what if this was spinned around? Same scenario, same kind of thing, but she knows of the guy.
She's interested in him.
Yeah. She knows of the guy. He kind of doesn't really know that she exists, right? What happens there?
Assuming that I know of his character.
Yes.
Already, I would probably first go talk to my girlfriends, more than likely, and I would ask my girlfriends and tell them what I'm going to do and see if they can somehow back me up or give me an idea or be there if I walk away because I'm disappointed.
Oh, sure. Okay.
You know, and I would probably then walk up to him, but my girlfriends would be in close proximity maybe in case I need to like dodge and go
Safety
and do
net.
a safety net, and in case I need to like leave the conversation and be like, oh, so Sarah's waiting over there for me, but I'll catch you later just in case this doesn't go well.
Just in case he's a dweeb.
So personally, I would have a safety net, and then I would do the same thing that you said, where I would just go up and be like, hey, I'm Anna. I know your name is Isaac just through friends, and I always see you around, and just wanted to say hi and introduce myself. And then I would just kind of see where the conversation goes from there. And I feel like if you just are able to make small talk, even small talk can kind of reveal about a person, because maybe you like know of this person and you think they cool and like you kind of observe them a little bit, but then maybe you have small talk with them and you're like, man, it's hard to even like just talk about the weather with them. Maybe I'm not actually wanting to ask them out, and that's totally cool. So I would say just try to have some small talk, see how the small talk goes first. If it goes well, then I would probably personally invite him in two scenarios, either to a group event and to be like, oh, my girlfriends and I are going to go to this coffee shop. Like, would you and your friends like to meet us up there? And try to make it a group scenario if I wasn't super comfortable or confident in asking him for a solo date. If I was comfortable and confident in that, then I would just say like, hey, when's the next time you think I'll see you? Because I would love to see you and continue getting to know you. And if I felt really good, then I would just go ahead and say, like, would you like to grab coffee sometime?
What a novel idea. Talking to somebody that you want to go out with, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Notice how, though, none of this was over texting. I like that.
Oh, yep.
Neither of us brought about texting
Good.
or like following them on social media.
Mm-hmm. Or like messaging, because do the kids still call it texting? I'm just kidding, guys.
In my mind, I personally respect if someone approached me in person, if possible, but nowadays people find each other on the internet, which is likely, but in this scenario, it was in person.
Yeah.
Okay, Isaac, what do you do if she says no?
Oh.
If you like, let's say in the scenario, you were bold enough to be like, I'd love to grab coffee sometime, get to know you. Let's say she's like, and clearly, whatever she says, even if she doesn't directly say no, clearly that was a no.
You got to be prepared for that. You're always, there's disappointment in everything in life. And like, that would be a savings of a couple $100. What if she said, okay. And like, you guys went out on a couple of dates and you both spend a lot of money on like just getting to know this person, but she was never really into you. Like, oh man, you just saved yourself a bunch of money, or she saved you a bunch of money by, I would say you got to look at that as a positive and just say, okay, well, next one or next, there's another person out there. There's tons of fish in the sea.
That's a good perspective. Thanks for saving me some money. If you're not interested. Okay, so basically, like, kind of, you have to be able to shrug that off and.
Yeah, or like, there's lots of relationships that start out like that are where like one person asks them out and the other person says no, and then like a little while later they ask again. There's nothing wrong with asking again. Mm-hmm. Trying to get to know them again shows interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say if you're being respectful about it, obviously, and not bombarding them via text messages or something, in a respectful way, you can try again if you really think this person is someone you want to get to know. Maybe they're just shy, and we definitely know a lot of couples that was the case, actually. I can think of a lot of our good Christian married couple friends that was their story. Mm-hmm. One wasn't interested, the other was. Yep. I can think of actually 4 couples from our old church right now. But they kept going back because they're like, no, I think this is someone that I want to make my wife, maybe. Or my husband.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, we could talk about that some other time. But okay, got it. If she says no, either shrug it off, move along, still think of her well, think of him well, but that's okay. They weren't that into you.
Yeah, and you can try again later if you want.
Or try again later if you really think like, hey, this is a person I really want to be around. Okay, what kind of date should it be? So she says yes in this scenario. What is the expectation? What do you think is the ideal scenario? The guy is going with a mind of like, this could potentially be my wife someday. What impression does he want to make on that first date to her? So where is it? Give the guys and the girls this like ideal scenario.
Ideally, since everybody just watched the Winter Olympics, you would take her curling at the local curling club, right?
Oh my goodness.
That would be an experience, and it would be awesome.
Okay.
You don't like it, do you?
I'm glad that this is not how our relationship started personally. I'm like, well, thank goodness this wasn't the case for us.
See, I'm kind of wishing that we did more curling in our relationship.
Maybe in our 10-year anniversary.
Yeah, maybe we'll try it.
Okay, give me another one. Okay, curling's off the table.
Curling's off the table. She doesn't want to do that. Well, you gotta... Oh, man. So one of the things that I've learned most about being married is that I can't really ask you what you want to do all the time. It doesn't work out very well for me. Well, most of the time I found that you really appreciate, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you really appreciate when I just say, hey, we're going on a date, and we just go, and I already have a plan, and you never have to even think about it.
I love that. I love that so much because it shows me that you were thoughtful. Mm-hmm. That not only did you want to spend time for me, but that you had already set aside the time.
I am thoughtful.
He is very thoughtful. But it just shows me that you've already not only set aside the time and already thought ahead, but that you've already taken more time to figure out exactly what would be an ideal scenario for what you want to do, like how you want to get to know me better, even as a spouse. Like, how do I want to get to know Anna better? Well,
Tacos.
would she like?
Yeah.
Would she like to try fun food? Would she like to just have a movie? Like, what does it look like Anna could possibly use this week? And it shows me that like you care to look into that.
Yeah, for a first date, I'd try to do something like different than you've ever done. Like maybe, is the Arboretum, is that like a date thing?
Is that a first date thing? That's like, isn't that like 25 or
25 years?
Bucks? No, I'm saying is like,
It's expensive?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just saying, is that
Could
first
be.
date material?
It
Are
could
we
be.
going? What about the coffee date idea? Is that no good?
Yeah, it's good.
Because you're going off on like curling, going to the Arboretum.
Okay, coffee is good. Coffee is good. Coffee is safe.
Coffee
Very
is safe. Yeah.
All right.
Take the pressure off. Curling's a lot of pressure, I have to tell you.
Oh man,
The
but it would be
Arboretum is
so
also
fun.
the Arboretum is kind of romantic.
Yeah, you're right.
You
don't
took me
wanna-
to the Arboretum after we've been dating for a year.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, skip the Arboretum, guys. What's on your next question?
So what was the answer to this question? What should the date look like?
Oh, it should be something simple, something easy. Probably coffee shop sounds good. You know, I like your suggestion. I also like tacos.
Okay. And so like, are you picking her up? Like, do you just go ahead and tell her? Like, let's say she says yes, and she just go right away is like that awesome girl that right away is like, hey, I'm free Thursday night at 7. That would be awesome.
And then you could say, yeah, I would love to pick you up. Can I pick you up at 7 then? And if she says yes, or if she wants to meet you there, she'll be like, oh, I'd rather meet you there. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Be open to it.
Okay. And do you pay? Do you pay the bill?
I would offer. At the very least, I would offer.
When do you offer? When the bill comes around, or?
No, I guess if I'm planning the date, like I would probably at the very least offer, but probably I would intend to say like, hey, I'd love to treat you tonight to this.
Or take you out.
Yeah, if this is an actual date, like, and not just friends getting lunch, like, then yes, I would actually try to say beforehand, before we actually go, or like in the car or something, and be like, hey, I'd like to treat you tonight, so like you don't have to worry about paying. I would like to do that tonight. You don't have to worry about it tonight.
I think that's good because you want to have I personally, as a female in this area, would want to know the expectation.
Yeah.
What is he expecting out of this date? Is he expecting that we're just friends? Is he expecting that he wants to get to know me on a deeper level maybe than friends? Like, is he paying as a way to show chivalry? Is he like being chivalrous to me? Or is he just being like a brother to me? So I personally would appreciate knowing, hey, is this like hey, you're cool, I kind of want to be like your brotherly friend, or like, hey, you're cool to the point where like I want to like maybe exclusively date you. I maybe want to put a ring on that.
Well, this is first date.
First date, but I still want to know, like,
Okay.
Are we just acting like brother and sister? Or are you going to be chivalrous to me? Like,
Sure. Okay.
yeah, so I like that you're going to tell her, I'm taking you out.
Yeah.
I would like to pay for this.
Well, it's a clear expectation too that then it's actually a date, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Females appreciate clarity, which men do too, and sometimes women can be bad at that as well. Okay, here's a tougher one.
Okay.
What should a man be looking for in a woman? We might have to spend a little bit more time here. Do you have some key things? We've talked about this many a time in previous podcasts, really, but if you can give like kind of a summed up.
Yeah, so you want to know her character, right? We kind of scratched on that surface. That she is among godly people and is godly herself, meaning that she has the virtues and values of a Christian. That would be first and foremost. And then, like, if you're looking for somebody and you're not attracted to that person, you probably won't be dating that person. But everybody knows that because we all base our dating on attraction in modern day culture in America. So you find her attractive, you find her character attractive, and her character has to exemplify the Lord, right? Who does she hang out with? Are these people people that are of the Lord, right? Or are they not? So I would try to figure that out. I would look for somebody who has Christian community. I think so. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And we could say like maybe the reason why, like why does this person need to have Christian community? I think that reveals their character. Like the
Oh, yeah.
people that we spend time with, just to explain that a little further, the people that someone spends time with and how someone spends their time reveals a lot about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Psalm 1, those who sit with mockers.
Blessed are they who do not sit in the counsel of the
Yeah.
wicked, or stand in the way of sinners, or sit in the seat of mockers.
Yeah.
But their delight is in the law of the Lord.
Yep.
Yeah. So those who walk among the wise become wise. That's a proverb. And yeah, is she walking among the wise? Is he walking among the wise? And that's a good point, because for the female, if a guy doesn't have friends that are,
Christian.
good Christian godly men, like, that's a huge turnoff. That's a huge turnoff. Like, even if that guy solo seems to be a decent guy, like you observe him, you've seen him, you know of him, whatever, and you're like, hey, he seems to be a good guy, but then you actually take a moment to look at his friends, and they just go out drinking all the time. They spend their weekends just hanging out till 2 a.m. Doesn't give off the appearance that they're responsible with money or with their bodies or with their language. For me, that's a big thing, is language. Personally, if they're like swearing up a storm and talking colorfully about people and casual gossip, like, that's a big turnoff for me.
Yeah. Okay, so that leads me to another realization. Like, if I'm looking for a spouse, specifically a spouse.
Yeah, which is the scenario.
Yeah, the scenario. I definitely, this brings up modesty. I would look for somebody who is modest. Like, I still find them attractive, don't get me wrong, because like if I'm looking at somebody who does not dress modestly, like, the sinful nature inside men's brains will use that image and like project that onto a marriage, and that's not marriage. Like, that's lust.
Yeah,
right?
We talked about that last podcast. What's the difference between love and lust? That's good to bring up too today.
Yeah, so like from a guy, if I was looking for a spouse, I'd be looking for someone that was modest and very attractive in that modesty.
And would you speak just a tiny bit more? You don't have to go into extreme detail, but just for the ladies listening out there and for the men, like, what does modesty mean to a godly man as far as dressing? Like, what does that look like to a man?
Yeah. You kind of tapped in on this, and I think you had a really good comment on it on our last podcast about how what is revealed most about you is your faith.
Yeah, what you're revealing.
Yeah, so like if I look at your Instagram and I know more about your chest than I do about your faith, like that would be a problem.
Yeah.
For that would be somebody that I wouldn't desire to be my spouse.
I think that's awesome. Ladies, that's good to hear, I think, and men too. But good for everybody to be reminded of is, like, you pursue the people that are just mindful that their body is the Lord's. It doesn't mean you can't be proud of your figure. It doesn't mean you can't be proud of your fitness, but do it in a way that's God honoring. And that's, something that's good to know for both men and women. You can be proud of your body. You can be proud of your fitness, proud of how you take care of yourself. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But
that body is God's.
But your body is the Lord's, and check your motivation. Are you sharing pictures on social media because you want attention for your body, or because you're trying to teach someone something? Like, there's just a difference. And I think that comes down to checking your heart, because modesty does look different for everyone. And I think there's not a black and white, because scripture does not give it black and white. And that's important to know. There's not a black and white, but it does say modesty, and that your body is the temple, and to save yourself for your spouse, and that we're supposed to delight ourselves in our spouse. So are other people delighted in that person by looking at that's kind of going deep, but like, are other people able to be visually delighted by their body all the time? Because even for a woman, I would not want to pursue a man who has a million shirtless pictures on his social media, because I'd be like, well, I don't feel special.
Yeah.
If I got to marry this person, what's special about me being his wife if his body is shared with everybody? That's personally how I feel.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I so agree. And I believe that a modest dressing woman attracts a man that's looking for a spouse, not a man that's looking for a sexual encounter.
Mm. That was a good way to just sum up what we said. Okay, that was good.
Thank you.
All right, so next question. What is the best way to share your intentions once you've determined that, first scenario, you don't want to pursue something further? Second scenario, you do want to pursue an exclusive relationship. So first is you've gone on a couple dates, you've gotten to know them a little bit more. You've gotten to know their character enough, their background enough, their family, their priorities. You have determined now in this situation that you don't want to pursue something further because of what you learned. But you've gotten in a flow of like regular communication.
So, yeah.
An expectation of like meeting up once a week to like get coffee. How do you make it clear in a kind way that like, hey, I kind of want to stop spending one-on-one time with you?
Yeah,
because that happens.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think the easiest thing to do, and most people do it, is they stop talking to him, and I don't think I recommend
That's
that.
The worst.
Yeah.
That's the worst.
Oh man, who hates?
Don't do that,
yeah.
Guys. Don't do that. Girls, don't do that. Nobody do that.
Harkening back, I would hate for that. Like, so this is basically a breakup, but ish, right?
Ish, but it's been casual enough that like it's clear that you're just getting
friends.
to know each other.
Yeah. Okay. I would definitely not do it through text. That would be bad. I would probably just like have a chat with that person and be like, hey, I'm looking at my future and I'm looking at like what I want out of my friends and out of dating, and just like be clear about your intentions and be clear about that like I don't think I'm meant to date you to find a spouse, because that's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm dating for, is I'm dating for a spouse. If I don't think you're going to be my spouse, I don't think I should be dating you. So that's probably, you're going to have to just say it, and it's going to be hard, but you'll grow from it. And so will that other person, right?
Yeah, I think that was good. I would encourage, though, to be mindful that you're not telling that person somehow in some way that they're not good enough for you.
Oh, no. But like, you can still say that.
I'm just saying, like,
yeah, very
be
much. Totally.
I'm saying you got to prepare yourself for this conversation. Don't go in just like, oh, today I'm going to tell them that they're not a good fit for me. I think just be careful. Maybe you want to practice that with a mentor or a friend. Seriously, because you don't want to hurt someone's feelings and ever make someone feel like you're not good enough for me.
Yeah, but it's okay to not be the right fit.
Exactly. You want to say that, like, I don't think I
want to be married to you is kind of is all right.
Hey, just so you know, I don't want to get married.
Yeah.
So let's stop getting coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, in a sense, you're saying that, but
it's acceptable, right?
Yeah. You could maybe start with a compliment, though. You know, a compliment, like, that's a good way to say anything, is truly, like, I've enjoyed getting to know you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, if you've gone on a couple dates, obviously you've enjoyed spending your time. It's just that maybe you've seen qualities in them that you're like, yeah, I just don't think that I would be a good fit for them as a spouse, and I don't think they're a good fit for me as a spouse. There's something that revealed that to you, and that's good that you recognize that. That's so good.
Nice.
We applaud you. That's good. Recognize that now and don't pursue it any further, because that's unkind if you are thinking that and you continue pursuing something that, you know, and that happens too often. And so, yeah, be kind, but be straightforward. Yeah. I've enjoyed getting to know you. Yeah. I've enjoyed getting to know you. But just wanted to let you know, I'm on my path, hopefully, Lord willing, to find a spouse, and want to let you know that I don't think that that's it for you or for me. And so I've loved getting to spend one-on-one time with you. I do think that it would be better in the future if we hang out in groups, because I enjoy spending time with you, but I don't want to pursue one-on-one time with you if I'm not going to pursue something exclusive with you. So I just wanted to let you know where my heart was.
Nice. That was very well said.
All right.
Anna, are you the master of breaking up? You've never broken up with me.
Oh my goodness.
Next question.
Okay, next question. Same scenario, but opposite, is you do want to pursue an exclusive relationship.
Oh, okay.
couple one-on-one dates in, you've gone on a couple coffee dates and you're like, this person's awesome, I love their character, their family's cool, they're pursuing healthy relationships, they're active in the church, all the things, and you're like, I want to move towards marriage. And
I'd say the structure of this is really nice, and it kind of harkens back to our grandparents' time. So our grandparents, if you don't know, like our grandparents grew up probably in the 40s, and what they practiced was seeing people, not dating people, but seeing people, and then they would go steady with one person, right? So they would see a lot of people, and they wouldn't be dating per se, but they would be getting to know other people, and then we kind of have this dating thing of today is like, as soon as you're dating, you're exclusive. And I like the idea of getting to know a person and then going exclusive with that person, like going steady.
Once you've determined their character and priorities.
Yeah, and like this is a person that I would like to see exclusively, and I would like to go steady with this person. So
why? Because I see them as a spouse.
Yeah.
And I see me as a spouse to them in the future. I would love to see if that's the Lord's will for us.
That's sweet. So like, how would you go about? Is that your question?
Yeah. So the question is, how do you share your intentions?
Ooh, I would share your intentions right away. Like I am, without being too crazy or too forward or too creepy. You know how relationships can be. Like, hey, I'm looking for a relationship that can go towards marriage, and I like see you as a potential fit for a spouse, but I am not ready. Obviously, we're not ready to become spouses, but I'd like to exclusively date you. And I want you to know, like, this is me exclusively dating you.
I think that's awesome.
It's kind of forward.
Well, you said that to me, so I know how
did.
it feels for someone to say that to you. I personally appreciated that very much. I can say from experience that is a wonderful way for someone to be told their intention. That's actually exactly what Isaac did to me. He straight up said, my intention is to make you my wife. That's an exact quote.
It sounds kind of harsh. Make you my wife.
It was it was endearing though, because I knew you well enough at that point that was the sweetest thing you could say, and I was extremely humbled, and I felt the same way that I saw a potential spouse in you. So yeah, you tell him. My goal is to move towards marriage. And I just wanted to let you know that I see that for us, Lord willing, and just wanted to be upfront about that, because if you want to move the same direction, I want to be on the same page. But if you don't, then I want to reevaluate how we spend our time together.
Nice. Very forward.
Okay. Any questions for me?
Yeah. So we started getting to know a person. What does it look like to continue getting to know a person beyond like a coffee shop date?
This is after you've communicated that we're going exclusive?
Yeah, you're going steady.
Okay, we're going steady. We both have the same mind that we're moving towards marriage and are continuing to find out if this person is the right spouse for me, if this is the one that the Lord wants. We're moving along. I would say they should probably include getting to know each other's community.
Ooh, good point.
So, before we talked about like observing their friends, observing who they spend their time with, you want to get to know that pretty soon, because that shows a lot about their character. So that's something you want to know right out away, I would say personally, at least. And so now you want to personally get to know their community, meaning also their family, if possible. That's not an option for everybody. But you want to get to know the people who might become your family one day.
Yeah, or the people that your future spouse kind of hangs out with.
Yeah, you want to know the people that this person cares about. If you care about this person and you want to continue getting to know them on a deeper level, that means you start caring about the people that they care about, and you care about the things that they care about. And that doesn't mean you have to like love their hobbies or something, but you start to have some genuine care and love for who they care and love for.
Nice. I like that. Okay, so we're in this stage, and what should be this person's plan for purity? I know we've already kind of talked about this before in a previous podcast, but
yeah, we do talk about this a lot, and because it's important. So for those of you that do listen to all of our episodes, we touch on this in almost all of our episodes, but it's just so important. And so this is why we continually to touch on it and remind you. And why? Because God has a lot to say about it, and that's why we talk about it often. And when you're dating someone and pursuing someone, it's a known fact that you are like sexual magnets together. And so you want to be prepared to honor that in a God honoring way, because that's how God made you. He made us to be sexually attracted to someone else, but he also made us to be bound to one person and to be unified in marriage with sex as a blessing. So we just want to honor that. So purity plan is definitely something that's important and something that we definitely want to talk about when pursuing someone as a spouse. So it kind of goes off of intentions. We keep using that word intentions, but it's important to first establish what is our plan. And I would say the most ideal scenario, the most God-honoring scenario, is that you have a conversation with this person. So it's not just you taking a few seconds to think about, yes, I do not want to cross some godly lines with this person. It's not just you sitting quickly thinking about like, yeah, this is my plan going in. It's sitting down and telling this person flat out, I will not have sex with you before marriage. Not, I don't want to, or, hey, just so you know, it's flat out, I will not do this because I honor my God with my body. Tell them that flat out. And
most likely you're going to get a lot more respect.
Oh, so much more. Especially if you have determined this person's character and you have determined you're pursuing a godly marriage, make it clear. Like, don't assume that they know something. I think that's really important. Don't assume that they know all of your intentions. It's like, well, they know I'm a godly man. I go to church. Tell them. And also, talking about actually having a plan is different than just knowing what's right and wrong.
Yeah, and having a plan together is super important.
A plan together. If you are wanting to be unified with this person, it is important to be unified on how you will and will not treat your own body and treat their body.
Yeah, and I would say, like, if they don't agree with you on this point, that's like a deal breaker, and you can save yourself some time.
Yes.
And just break up like Anna breaks up with people.
Okay.
Hey, thanks so much for sticking around. In the interest of you not being here for a full hour, we split this podcast up into 2 parts. So go check out the second part. We're going to talk about things like purity plan, getting to know each other's community better, and at the most, having fun.